Young was asked for his Japanese notebook, but immediately apologized. Yonga didn't immediately realize it was about his notebook, figuring he'd just shove it into the stack himself. His name is Yonaga Shizuka, he's a sophomore in high school, and just so happens to have an unkind look in his eyes. He has someone he's interested in. She's very quiet and well-mannered. His deskmate, Nemukata-san. She's reading a book from Slippy's Phantom Thief series. He's never seen it read by anyone but him. It's an old series, it's a few years old. He's sure it's fate, and the most important thing is her eyes when she reads, which you can see through his glasses, glowing with delight, and this girl is now at his window. He saw her picking the lock and didn't realize what was going on. Her hair is different and she's not wearing her glasses, but it's Nemukata. There's no way he'd mistake the one he likes, the one he's interested in, so why is she trying to get into someone's room? The girl stated that since she had already been spotted, she had no choice. She stated that she is a beautiful thief who plans to become great and bring justice to all sorts of villains. She asked her to please call her Dorobo-chan. The guy was surprised at the way to start the conversation. The girl said that now it was necessary to keep the mystery, so she asked him not to reveal her identity. He pointed out that she's still a thief, and maybe she should file a report, but it's Nemukata, and maybe it's just a prank like that. Dorobo asked him to wait a second. She was about to open that lock. He was amazed that she was opening it. She really is a thief. Suddenly, she asked him to open it for her. It wasn't because she couldn't do it herself. She just wasn't in the mood right now. Yonga didn't understand what that excuse was, and after that she opened the window and invited her inside. She was very surprised at his room. The guy noted that she called him by name. It's the first time she's been in someone else's room, and it's the first time you've been in hers. She's acting differently now than she did at school. Yonga noted that she looked like a thief, but only stupid. Is it really the same person? Your sparkling eyes, they're still the same. Nemukata asked the guy what was wrong. She told him to lay it out since he looked like he wanted to say something. He decided to clarify exactly why his house. Nemukata shared that it was because to help her become a first-class thief, and her noble thief mother had given her this task. She ordered her to go and steal something from a rascal living nearby. And he fits all the parameters, those villainous eyes of his. She's long considered him a top-notch bad guy. Yonga just thought that the girl he was interested in had such an opinion of him. The girl wondered if this came as a surprise to him. She needs to decide what she's stealing, so let him be patient for now. Yonga didn't understand who would even just sit there knowing they were being robbed. Nemukata agreed and began to read in the book what to do if the targets were near. He noted that she was reading something. Nemukata had read that when targets were near, she needed to be distracted, and the guy noted that he could hear her. She stated to him that it was past his bedtime, but he asked her not to make him laugh. The girl didn't understand why. Yonga cringed at having a thief next to him, and who would even dare to sleep in such an environment. Nemukata unexpectedly offered to let him sleep together. He realized if she slept together implied that it was when they would hold each other tightly. Yonga stated that he is, of course, happy about everything and how he would like to climb that ladder one step at a time and not get ahead of himself. Nemukata stated that all she would have to do was watch him while he slept. Here, Yonga understood and agreed. And what could he have thought? He pointed out that sleeping together meant sleeping together in the same bed of sorts. Nemukata said that wasn't what she meant. She didn't really want to suggest that she wasn't thinking of doing it with him at all. The guy stated that he understood and asked so vehemently to stop denying it. And you're only making it worse. Nemukata stated that that was it for today, and she was leaving, but she would be back. Yonga remembered that she would be back, and he remembered that the thief would be coming to him soon. Yonga in the store choosing whether we should get pudding or profiteroles today. Yesterday was just a crazy day, and he should probably get 2-piece brownies. He was thanked for the purchase. He still couldn't believe that his classmate had turned out to be a thief. I kept my eyes on her all day at school, but she acted the same as usual. Sometimes her idiot thief part comes out. One classmate shared that they say that in the neighborhood announced some thief pervert. It seems that he steals only underwear, and at this point, the girl for some reason very sweaty. Yonga noted that she hadn't said a word to him at school about whether she was coming at all. If you think straight, there's no way she's coming. But no, Nemukata was cracking the door. She didn't understand what was wrong with this lock. Standing there were two women whispering about a girl in a cosplay costume being here, and that this was Yong's apartment. Yonga decided to back her up and clarified that she was from Uber after all, so timely. The girl started to deny it, but he stated that she was from there. After that, he opened the door to the apartment. Nemukata didn't understand why he was so impatient. The guy had asked her to use the mirror for once and see how she looked from the outside now. He seemed a little late to catch on. But what was the point of this provocative, or rather stunning outfit? The girl noted that he almost said provocative, but there's nothing wrong with that. She's a thief after all, and no one will see her anyway. The outfit looks cute and a little bit like cosplay. Yonga noted that she was just doing whatever caught everyone's eye. He was interested in what brought her here today. The girl stated that she wouldn't say she was here to steal his key. It was a secret. He noted that she had just told him everything. Yonga stated that there was no way she would steal his key. and in fact, he always carried it with him. He realized that she had spoken unconsciously. Nemukata stated that he was evil incarnate, since he could also read minds. The boy denied it. The girl stated that if he would just lend her his key for a bit, she wouldn't even have to steal it. She showed him the plasticine and claimed that with this she could make a duplicate, and then she would get his key without stealing it. The guy asked her not to which she claimed she would then steal his spare key. He asked not to take it so lightly, and if it wasn't about the thief, he'd let her in himself. Nemukata stated that it couldn't be done that way. Her pride wouldn't allow it. If she's going to be a first class, she needs to be able to get in on her own. Yonga swept up. She hadn't succeeded once so far. The girl proceeded to hunt for the key and lugged his spare key outside. Yonga didn't think she should go out like that. That's when she saw the bag he was just holding. The guy pointed out that he had gone to the convenience store and would tell her right away that the keys weren't there. Nemukata noted that maybe not, but she had found something worthwhile, and it turned out to be a brownie. The girl stated that if he cared about the life of this dessert, then let him tell her where that key was. However, her demands didn't quite match. The girl pointed out that he had bought 2 whole pieces after all, and he must have really wanted to try it. Yonga didn't understand how he should be now, since his only chance was to say that 1 piece was for her. And the boy noted that her drool was flowing. He heard her pull them back in with all her might. The girl said indignantly that it didn't matter if he just told her where the key was, but she slipped and the cake flew out the window. The girl noted that he was clean, and for today though, he gave up and left. Nemukata was horrified. Had she really wanted to taste that dessert so badly? Yonga roared that that wasn't the point, and let her not worry about it. Nemukata stated that she would run out and buy another one. She would buy it right now and asked him not to be discouraged. Nemukata actually went to the store and the vendor imagined she was an Uber cosplayer or something. Today's loot she got nothing and plus expenses 550 yen. Yonga noted that today was another long day, and he was thinking of stopping by the bookstore and then going home. Suddenly he found a message in his locker, probably left by Nemukata. Well, sure enough, these are in. Said she was coming today. And yes, the letter said she was coming for him today. Miss Thief appeared that she was coming for him today. And in other words, would it really be a confession? Before he knows it, he's completely cleaned his room. Suddenly a girl appeared, noting that the place was open. She wished him a good evening, and as the message said, she was here to steal. Yonga snatched it from her. Is she really here to steal and means him? The girl confirmed she wants to steal his identity. Personal data is very important. It wouldn't be wrong to say that she would steal his identity. Yonga realized that he was overthinking it and clarified what part of his data she wanted to steal. Girl got busy with her being here for his line ID. Asked if she had a hack on his account. The girl states that she wouldn't because it's not nice. The guy doesn't want to hear it from the thief. The girl just wants to send him a message through Lean, so she wants to know his ID. Yonga clarified, wondering if they're like Christmas cards to her. Sure, writing cards adds a little grace, but doing it every day would be a pain, he asked, not to give them every day. But then he realized that her stealing his ID meant he could communicate with her. That's what he wants. The guy decided to dictate his ID to her himself, but Nemukata stopped him. It would be nothing more than an exchange of contacts. If she wanted to be an excellent thief, she would steal it. The guy asked for permission to just give it to her. He didn't know what to do. He really wants to exchange line with her, but if he leaves it, it will end in another failure, he's sure. He has to do something to get her to steal it. Yonga stated to her that he was going to the bathroom and leaving his phone there, and he asked her not to look at it. Nemukata stated she would never, and he pointed out that she definitely shouldn't. The guy wondered aloud to himself if he had locked his phone, and it would be problematic if someone looked at it from him. Mentally started urging the girl to look at her phone before locking it again. The girl was floundering about whether it would really be right to look. The guy realized she was super indecisive. He begged her to hurry up and look. Nemukata decided that she would take a look. He urged her to hurry, but unfortunately the phone locked again. The girl tried to enter passwords. Yonga tried to figure out what he could do. A lifetime wouldn't be enough to unlock it. He can try facial recognition to unlock it, but can he get close enough? He realized that just thinking about it made his heart burst out of his chest, but still he must do. Yonga alerted that he was back and checked to see if she had unlocked his phone while he was gone. The guy was convincing himself that he had to step up, and Nemukata was showing at that moment that he was still blocked. Suddenly, she turned around and asked him what was the matter, what was wrong. The guy noted that it was a pleasant odor, and then he passed out. There was a message on his phone that the thief had stolen his ID. Nemukata walked home, excited about her first steal. Today's loot was his contact information. Yonaga's classmate offered to play a game for him, but he claimed he didn't bring his console with him. He was approached by some girl and told that it was illegal to bring game consoles to school. The girl's name was Inumishi. She would confiscate it anyway, and Yonaga noted that his classmate was at his lesson. Inumishi yawned in surprise. Yonaga stated that it seems rude, but public morality works, and his classmate stated that it was a cute little yawn. The girl started to make excuses that she had stayed up late recently, but it didn't matter. and clarified with Yonaga that he hadn't brought the console with him, right? The guy confirmed that he had left it at home. Namukata claimed on the same day that she came to steal the game that was rumored to be in his house. Yonaga was beginning to tire of this, and he clarified why she was so dramatically interested in games. The girl stated that it's all because after successfully stealing his ID, she feels she can steal anything, so why not steal something expensive? The guy asked her not to go that far. Namukata stated that she would just take it. She offered to fight him. If she won, she would steal it, and if he won, she would come back tomorrow for another round. The guy stated that wasn't good for him. He asked Miss Thief if she played games at all. The girl stated that he looked down at her to let him know that when she was little, she was the kind that played every day. She urged him to start soon, and as they say, strike while the iron is hot. Yonaga said that what she wanted to do was terrible. Namukata stated that she would never lose. Yonaga noted that she is actually good. Maybe she was telling the truth that she played as a child. However, she moves her body while playing. He asked her to leave before something happened, but suddenly she hit him right in the face. She attacked him in life. Namukata noted that it looked like she had a chance. Yonaga checked with the girl to see if she could stop the actual attacks. As it turned out, he didn't even notice. The girl asked him to continue. Yonaga noted that this was too dangerous a time to end it. The thief didn't understand what had just happened and stated that it wasn't fair. She claimed that she had been tricked and he had tricked her. The guy declared that the battle was over, but Namukata demanded one more round. Because these games are played to 3, she hadn't lost yet. Yonaga realized that she didn't know how to lose. Namukata declared that she wouldn't stop hitting even if he cried. The guy stated that it was actually her crying. Namukata-san thought she was so cute when she was upset. She doesn't show that face at school, and her coming here as Miss Thief isn't necessarily too bad. Namukata stated that her attacks didn't combine at all. Yonaga noted that her melons were trembling, just like his heart. Yonaga, now their score was 1-1. He realized this was not a good thing. If he continued to stare at her, she would definitely notice. He must purge himself of his worldly desires. The girl wondered why he was silent. Perhaps he was crying. The guy thought about the blows and noted that somehow it was an easy win, after which he rumored that he had won. However, the girl had already left. She stated that it was scary when it concentrates, your eyes become even more sinister. Yonaga noted that it was 9 p.m. and he was really having trouble deciding what to buy at the department store. He wants to get home faster and immerse himself in a book, but decided he would cut through the park today. Suddenly, he found Nekamuta in the park, who was tied up with a rope. The girl noted his timing. The guy realized that this could only be a problem. She asked him for help, and he clarified what she was even doing, and clarified what it was that she was even doing. Nekamuta shared that suddenly a girl came up and tied her up. Then this girl showed up, that they had suspicious faces. Are they really participants? Yonaga shared that he would say he was the victim. The thief asked him to please don't leave her, and the girl who tied up the thief turned out to be Inumi, Yonaga's classmate. Suddenly, the girl also recognized him and hid. Trembling, she asked him what he was doing here. The guy shared that he just wanted to take a shortcut and was coming back from the store. That's when he noticed her clothes. She asked not a word more. She too wants to know why she dresses like that. She knew it was too much, but she had no choice, so she wears it but says nothing. Yonaga noted that it felt like it was carrying at a mile a minute. Nekamuta thought she looked perfectly cute as it left her tummy exposed. Yonaga asked not to pour salt on the wound. Inumi stated that she didn't want to wear it. She had to catch the thief that was rumored to be felt around, and lately, well, that's what the chairman told her. The thief stated, now there are rumors about her. Yonaga didn't understand why that made happy. The chairman gave it to her. They say it will be very bad to walk around in uniform at night, and she has to wear it somewhere until she catches it. Inumi declared that it was all over because today she had finally caught the perverted cosplayer. Nekamuta noted that isn't she the same now in those clothes, and she herself isn't a pervert. She only steals from Yonaga. Her goal is to become a top-level noble thief. Yonaga doesn't think this excuses her. Being a thief is very bad. Inumi doesn't understand why she's so proud of it, and then she decides to check with Yonaga to see if this thief has trespassed on him before. Yonaga confirmed it 4 times already. Inumi clarified that since this thief was only entering the house, wouldn't it be good to bring her here? Inumi noted that knowing there were victims around made it even more reason not to let her go, and finally she could take off that embarrassing outfit. Her true motives were slipping away. Inumi decided that she would take her then, whereupon she started to drag her by the rope, but the thief expressed that she didn't want to. She looks like a dog that doesn't want to go for a walk. The thief asked the guy to save her. Yonaga thought about telling Inumi that it was Namukata, so maybe she'd let her go, at least that's what he could say. It really is amazing how well this disguise works. He thinks she's doing a good job with this image. Is he really the only one who can tell? There's another reason that might make Inumi stop. The thief asked the guy not to give up, and Inumi asked Mittens to just stop resisting. They go to the police. Yonaga turned to Inumi and clarified why he shouldn't bring the thief for her. Inumi stated that she was fine. She should see it through. The guy clarified if she was sure it was a good idea, but the girl didn't understand what he meant. Yonaga noted that he just doesn't know how to go to the police in those clothes. Girl, what does she have to go for? The guy pointed out that it would be all well and good, but if they wanted to thank her, she could be on the news, and that could spread a rumor around the school. As their thief, she would make the perfect cosplayer. The thief tried to be indignant. Yonaga asked her to be quiet. Yonaga also stated that how about he was the victim after all, and it wouldn't be weird if he brought her. Inumi agreed. Yonaga realized that they needed to hurry until they could. The boys had run away, and he noted that should be enough, he thought. Nekomata turned to the guy, thanked him, and he was happy to help. However, said, and that was his ability to convince people, and she bet he was using her for fraud. He really is a villain, worthy of being a target. At the same time, Inumi was thinking about the fact that she should have at least walked them to the station. Yonaga noted that it was already 8 p.m. and the thief hadn't shown up yet. He'd be surprised if she didn't show up tonight. A message came through that she would be stealing something of his today. Nekomata noted happily that the message had been sent. She thought about stealing today, but suddenly someone approached her and announced that they were detaining her today. It was Inumi, and it looked like she had missed. The thief recognized yesterday's cosplayer. Nekomata clarified with her what it was. She wouldn't catch it no matter how many times she tried. Inumi pointed out that she had already caught it once too, hadn't she? The thief clarified that either way, what was the point? She's referring to her sweater. Inumi told her to be quiet. The bareness of her belly embarrassing, so she raised her defenses except for him. The thief stated that one way or another she had business to attend to. She went. Inumi ordered her to stand and use some sort of thing. It's dangerous and she knows it. Inumi shared that it is a miniature portable high-speed rope-throwing tool. It is the secret weapon of the American police. The thief was shocked that something like this existed. He shoots synthetic fiber to stop his target, but he does it at a speed of 690 kilometers per hour. Way to dodge it. Inumi shared that the truth is that only the American police use it at the moment, and the committee chair has connections. Thief wondered who this chairman of theirs was. And even with one of them, she had never, but she had no time to speak, for she was caught. The thief? Or rather, she couldn't take it off. Inumi stated that she couldn't. She just couldn't ignore the offense. The thief pointed out that she is so stubborn. Inumi agrees with that, and regardless of what anyone says, she just does justice. Thief stated that in school also she really has one thought in her head. Inumi didn't understand where the situation about the situation at school was coming from. Well, the thief stated that she didn't say anything. Two guys walked past the girls and started discussing their looks and what they don't do. The thief wanted to suggest an idea and Inumi agreed too. They came to an alley and Inumi thinks it's okay to be here. Since it draws people's attention, maybe they won't remove it. Inumi wondered if she would try to escape, and the thief stated that she wouldn't. She's a top-level thief, tried to escape just right in front of her in a fair way. However, Inumi stated that she couldn't take it off, and if she understood correctly, that rope couldn't even be cut with a knife. The thief clarified what they would do then, and Inumi replied that she would just have to stay with him. But that's not a solution. Even if it can't be cut, it's not like she can unhook it. Inumi can't, it's so messed up. But suddenly both of them were pinned. They didn't realize what had happened. The thief asks her what she's done. She's only made things worse. Inumi thinks it's time to resort to extreme measures. They need to go back to her house for a second. She needs to calm down at home and realize what they can do. The thief noted as she realized she would be dragging her with her the whole way. Inumi asked her to shut up. She was already loaded with her own thoughts. She asked her not to take it out on her, as it was all her doing. The thief said there was nothing left to do, so I asked her to listen. Inumi had shown up that she didn't want to. Everything but that. The thief asked not to complain anymore. After all, whose fault is it that they're in this mess right now? She realizes she has no choice. The girls decide to synchronize their breathing and start moving. Yonaga noted that she was very late and he wondered what had happened. But when he opened the door, Nekomata asked to be saved. The guy apologized but clarified when it came to that. Inumi asked him not to say anything or ask anything. Yonaga gets a message from Hakaishi that it seems he won't be able to make it today. He doesn't have any other friends he could call and thinks he'll eat alone. Right now, if Nemukata were with him. He imagines her asking him if he'd like to have lunch together. He's such an idiot, they don't even talk at school, so she would never try to talk. But suddenly she appeared beside him and asked if he was alone today. The boy coughed in surprise. He didn't understand why she was here, but she seemed so nice at school. Yonaga stated that it was fine and clarified with the girl what she needed. Nekomata stated that it was fine with him if possible, and wondered if he wanted to have lunch together. The guy was shocked. Maybe his dreams had become real. Yonaga said he had nothing against it. Nekomata apologized and sat down next to him. He didn't understand why she was so sudden. Perhaps she was here to steal his bento. She wouldn't come here without a purpose. The girl herself shared that today she took a strawberry jam roll. In other words, she's here to pick up something of his, as usual. Luckily, today is great. She can pick up anything at any time, but he didn't understand why she wasn't doing anything about it. If it were business as usual, she would have done something by now. Nekumata clarified if there was something on her face. Yonaga stated that no, nothing. She pulled out. Could it really be that he was targeting her role? She called him stupid. For stealing is not good, he knows that. He doesn't want to hear it from her. If he wants it so much, how about a trade? She'll take some of his bento. Yonaga remarked that sharing was something he did when he was young. Did Nekumata realize he was laughing like a real villain now? Yonaga agreed to do it, to exchange. The girl didn't understand why he changed so suddenly, but she's going to take that sausage then. Now, in exchange for some of her roll. She gave the very tip of it. Nekumata clarified if it was true that the strawberry jam was excellent. The guy stated that all he felt was biscuit. He wondered what it was she had been planning all this time, even though she had given him some roll. The girl stated that she wanted to talk to him about something, realizing what was wrong with her face, why her cheeks were so red, whether perhaps because of everything that had happened up to that point. She came. Nekumata wanted to know if he had a clue as to who the thief targeting him might be. The guy realized that she had only come to question him. By the way, she has no ulterior motives in asking about it, and was just curious in the spirit of wondering if he realized something. She has nothing but ulterior motives, but he never even mentioned the thief at school once before this. Yonaga thinks he'd better play dumb now and calls out that he's out of ideas. Nekumata realized everything because of what had happened. She was afraid Inumi might discover her, and it was very helpful that the guy was so hard-headed. Yonaga mentally thought about hearing her, but still he saw a smile at the school, so nothing. The girl was glad she hadn't been exposed. Yonaga wondered if you were really all there was for today. Here the girl declared that she had almost forgotten it was for him and handed him the candy. At that moment, the bell rang and the girl announced that she would return to class first. Nekumata was confused. She wondered if this made him happy since he had saved her last time and before that. If she wants to be a top-level thief, she should show her gratitude. Today's booty for the guy was her expression of gratitude. He didn't realize if it was okay for him to eat it. Yonaga was on his way to the restroom and saw Inumi thanking someone for the report. Suddenly, he thanked her for a job well done. She asked him only not to say that he had come to make fun of her or threaten her because of what had happened the other day. The guy stated that he wasn't going to do that, and he hadn't told anyone about it. Unexpectedly asked him if he often goes to the movies. The guy shared that he does quite often. Someone had just told her that there had been a lot of thefts at the movie theater lately, so he should be on his guard, especially since there was already one thief after him. Yonaga for being careful? Nekumata listened to this carefully. The boy remembered her ring and realized that she had to come today. Nekumata came over and suggested that he watch a movie tonight. The guy clarified that she had it in her hands. Today's plan is to steal from him while he's engrossed in the movie. The guy clarified that it's okay to talk about it. That's what happens when she goes to buy snacks for the movie. Is it too much? Nekumata shared that when she has the idea of watching a movie, she gets the urge to buy a lot of different things, and she suggests watching anyway. The guy asked for permission to turn on the computer then, but the girl offered to look on her phone. Turns out there's a subscription to Formula specifically for that, and it's 1,000 yen a month. The guy pointed out that it must be hard for her. The girl asked to sit next to her and clarified that it was okay if it was a movie she liked. Yonaga noted that they had such distance, as if they were a couple. Nekumata noted that this kind of action was tense from the start, but the guy mentally thought about how she was the one stressing him out here. She doesn't move only during games, so he moved a bit away. The girl clarified if he was too far away. If he's not close, he won't be able to see. This knock is different from before. It's from fear for his life. He has to dodge it. Nekumata also ducked for some reason with her phone in hand and got right in the guy's face. He didn't understand. She wasn't doing it on purpose. The girl demanded to be careful, and the guy asked if she was serious on a subconscious level. The girl stated that it was great, but watching action movies was tiring for some reason. Yonaga agreed in many ways, like about stealing. Had she completely forgotten about that? The girl stated that she hadn't forgotten. She was just fascinated by the actor, that's all. She's tired, offering to watch more, and the next one will be the one he likes. There has to be a movie he likes. Yonaga has stated that there is one, but he wonders if she will like it. He won't go into it too much. But this movie from a few years ago that focuses on the villain. The movie was purposely shot in retro style, and the protagonist is just a walking ball of misfortune that comes to a head after one incident. Only the protagonist tries to survive just great after that. Thief pointed out that he went very deep into it. The guy apologized, he speaks too fast. The girl stated that everything was fine and she was happy and knew what he liked, because if she knew what he liked, it might encourage her to think he was weak. The guy understood what she really meant, and while watching the second movie, she forgot about stealing again. He didn't realize what he should do. Maybe he should pretend to be tired, but suddenly the girl put her head on his shoulder. He didn't understand if she was leaning against him. This isn't the kind of movie that has that kind of atmosphere. Maybe it's a trap. Well, of course not. Turns out there's no way the girl would have done that. She just fell asleep. Yonaga noted that it was very nice and there was no way he could wake her up. Nekomata noted that he's always reading something, doesn't he? Love books. The guy confirmed that. The girl clarified with him what was wrong. She was too used to being in his room. Nekomata stated that now that she was full, her boyfriend asked her not to get full in other people's rooms. Today, she's going to steal his books. Someone like him who loves books probably has some old or rare ones, but the guy claims he doesn't have one. She knows he's just trying to discover that fact. She's sure there's a secret room on the other side of that wall. The guy reminds her that this is an apartment. She started banging on the wall and he asked her to stop because she was disturbing the neighbors. Suddenly, someone loudly banged theirs from the other side. The girl declared that there was nothing she could do about it then, and she would give up the secret room and take something still in the bookshelf. Yonaga wondered if she didn't know when to stop. She wondered if there was anything curious here. But the guy is jealous that it's just ordinary books here. He doesn't have any textbooks of evil. Does he mean to say that he's so mastered being evil that he doesn't need books anymore? Suddenly, the girl saw the Ghost Thief Slippy series of books and declared that she loved those books. Guy knows, and Nekomata clarified, wondering if he likes it too. Guy saw her eyes sparkle again, and she's really very cute. He answered her question positively. The girl didn't know he was a fan too. The guy didn't know if he could be said to be a fan per se, enough to get her autograph. Nekomata stated that he was an incredibly big fan. Nekomata was shocked. That's awesome. Morisu-sensei's autograph. Yonaga asked not to steal it, and the girl agreed that she wouldn't. There was no way she could steal something so valuable. She clarified which book was his favorite. The boy suggested that it was probably the first book, Almost Black. Nekumara understands him. Slippy's charm as the noble thief is stunning. This book is 12 years old now, but it's still relevant. She never leaves the house without it, and she even brought it with her today. This is the 5th one she's bought. It's already a little shabby. And the guy asked if it was because she was stealing with her. The 6th book, Adipobus Elias of One City, is also very good. A true masterpiece where the noble thief Slippy acts as a triple agent for underworld boss Lyle's police force. The description of the car chase as she runs away from the cops and the air combat is so good it reminds her of her mom. Her mom seems inhuman in these moments. The guy clarified if she really loved the series. The girl stated that her dream of becoming a thief came after she read these books as a child, and she loves them to death. It's been 5 years since the last book came out, but if a new one came out, she'd buy at least 10 copies. The girl checked with Yonagi, he too, after all, equals Slippy and wants to become a thief. Yonaga is afraid she doesn't. Nekomara was shocked. She's so cool, but she doesn't want to become a thief. Thinks she's the only one in the whole world. And anyway, if he had to choose, she thinks she likes Boss Lyle better. He's a villain, but he has his charm, and his "I only have one thing to say to you" line was cool. Nekumara stated that she needed to be as evil as him for her to be a noble thief. He clarified about Slippy. Without someone to play the villain, the noble thief becomes just a thief. That's why she likes people like him. The guy didn't understand what this girl had just said. Nekumara clarified to Yonaga if something was wrong. She didn't understand why he reacted like that. He was shocked by her words. Nekumara worriedly asked the guy if he was okay. Something was coming out of her head that shouldn't be. Yonaga was checking out books at the library. His friend Hakaishi came in and noted that Yonaga was reading a novel, a romance novel. He looked it up. Yonaga, who usually only reads detectives and science fiction, suddenly started reading romance novels. Maybe she's looking for pretty words to recognize the one he likes. The guy lived that it was nothing like that. Hakaishi stated that he would just scare her off anyway. Inumi appeared and asked the two of them to be quiet in the library. Yonaga didn't realize if everything was going to be okay tonight. He'd been depressed the evening before. Now was the time. The thief's words last night were as if she had confessed to him. Yonaga had distorted reality. He had prepared a response to her confession. He was sure he knew how to say it now. Suddenly, Nekumara appeared. She wondered what he had to say. The guy got really scared, and the girl worriedly asked if he was okay. The guy stated he's at full. However, he definitely doesn't look like he's at full. Nekumara noted that he clearly needs help, but the guy is sure she's exaggerating. He's bleeding. The girl pointed out that she really couldn't steal anything from him while he looked so pathetic. Yonaga Uyu, that would always be the case. But the girl wondered what he was going to say there, and if he was going to turn her into the police. Fly Togo. Well, even if he turns her in and has the police chase after her, she's sure she could escape, though it would be glorious if he didn't. The guy didn't understand what he was doing, how he could melt the ice. It would be weird to blurt it out here now and needed to push the conversation in the right direction. The girl stated that he was weird today. Then she saw his keys and stated she was going to steal them today. She beckoned to the guy that she was stealing his keys and declared that he had such scary eyes. And she would also steal his console, and then she would steal the cake in his refrigerator. She also found bits of chips and lots of books, and also his cactus. Nekumara appeared right in front of him and asked if he was listening to her. She asked him to respond in some way, Ungenerous thieves live only to see their targets suffer? He didn't realize if that was really one of her principles. The boy shared that he was just thinking about it, and his response to yesterday. The boy declared that he liked Miss Thief too, after which he went abruptly to bed. Nekomara didn't realize what it was now. The boy realized he couldn't say it. She was worried if he was really okay, if he wasn't feeling well. She could go home and let him get better. Suddenly, the guy asked her to stop. The guy realized that he wasn't ready to confess yet, and it wouldn't be his words, but borrowed, rather stolen from a book. But he had to tell Miss Thief. The guy wanted to tell her she was nice. That's all, but there's a lot more he wants to say, but he can't squeeze out anymore right now. But the girl ran away very quickly. She didn't realize what it was now, being called cute so suddenly. Nekomara didn't understand why her face was burning. At that time, Yonaga was dying, judging from her reaction. She hates him. Yonaga noted that it's 9 p.m. He thinks Nemukata won't be coming tonight. He had actually said something yesterday. But suddenly someone rang his doorbell, and he didn't realize who it could be at this hour. It was Nemukata. She said hello to Yonaga. The guy didn't think she'd come today. Turns out she wanted to surprise him or something. However, shouldn't the thefts be a surprise by design? The girl clarified if she could come in, to which the guy agreed. She apologized for the intrusion. The boy did not understand why she was so restless, but the girl stated that she was not restless. Yonaga noted that was what she said, but there was nothing wrong with that reaction of hers. He didn't understand why she would act like that. What he'd said to her last time must have been more creepy than he'd thought. Yonaga thought about how he wanted to die. Nekomara clarified what his problem was. She was worried if he was okay. Yonaga thought about how he needed to do something to repair their relationship. Yonaga asked the thief to have dinner with him. He was just about to cook something. He thinks that if they have dinner together and get in the right frame of mind, they can get things back on track. Nekomara didn't understand why he was suddenly asking about it. Was he really planning something? Yonaga realized she was savvy. The girl stated that it was unfortunate he didn't get handouts from his customers, not to mention her pride as a night thief. Nekomara stated that her stomach is rumbling not from hunger, but the boy was sure she was hungry, so he suggested that she steal something. He hadn't eaten anything either, and it would be terrible if someone stole his dinner. Nekomata stated that she had decided that she was going to steal his dinner tonight. The girl asked not to misunderstand her. She'll only steal it because he told her it would give him trouble, and absolutely not because she wants to eat it. Nekomara was curious about what they had. Yonaga shared that right now he had onions and fries. He thought about making a German salad. Nekomara noted that it sounded tempting. The guy asked her to just relax. The girl decided that she wanted to help him, but the guy didn't quite understand her. It wouldn't be nice of her to just wait and do nothing. Yonaga was shocked and clarified if she could turn on the stove. Yonaga tried to find some vegetables to peel. Nekomara stated it's fine and she will use it. Buds are hard to get, so it's perfect. Yonaga didn't understand why they were since he was opening the door for her. After a couple of minutes, the girl announced that everything was ready. The boy was surprised that she actually did it. The thief noted that she was an experienced professional after all. Yonaga agreed, and the girl wondered what that charming smile was all about. Nekomara clarified if she should then chop the onions. Of course, she can't use lockpicks for that, so this time she'll use a kitchen knife. Yonaga clarified if that would be okay, and she stated that it was the deciding point, but the girl's tears began to flow. Yonaga inquired if she wanted him to do it himself. The girl was against it and stated that she was fine. However, her tears tell a different story. The guy asked to be given a knife after all. The girl didn't understand why he cared so much. They'd even talked before, maybe. He called her cute and he came to her rescue. She'd never actually seen him do anything bad. Maybe she had it all wrong and he should be her target. Yonaga spoke passionately about how to properly cut onions so as not to cry. Nekomara declared to him that there was no way she would be defeated. He was only cutting a bow, but this bloodlust, he was indeed a suitable target. The guy didn't understand why he had the feeling she was misunderstanding something again. She was back to normal, so whatever. Nekomara reasoned about what she would steal today. The guy started, "Isn't she in a good mood today?" "Not really. She just has a feeling that she's going to steal something wonderful today," Nekomara thought. Yonaga noticed that she was at least back to her old self. He left her for a moment and asked her to remember to put away whatever she was taking with her. Nekomara agreed. A thief who breaks up leaves no trace. Yonaga opened the door, not realizing who it could be at this hour. It was Inumi. She said hello to him and stated that she was a prefect. Yonaga closed the door and the girl was outraged. The guy wondered why she was at his house. As he knows she's chasing the thief, and she decided that just wandering around looking for her was ineffective and the increased attention is there or the real reason. So she decided to stand at his house instead. But the very thief she's looking for was at his apartment. He must somehow refuse the meeting for the sake of preserving his sanity. Yonaga asked the girl to give him 10 minutes to be exact. Inumi didn't understand why she was a little embarrassed to just sit and wait here. Yonaga walked over to the thief. He knew she would end up making a mess. But then he thought that if he said Inumi was here to almost speechify, she might get wary and stop coming. He stated he needed her to get into his closet. Don't ask why. The girl didn't understand why she didn't want to do it. Yonaga asked her to just take a nap or something like that. He hid her in the closet and, after thanking Inumi, let her inside. The girl clarified if he didn't think it was cruel to leave her here in such a state. It was embarrassing to be seen by the neighbors. The guy was glad as they had something to gossip about. Yonaga apologized. He was a bit of a mess right now. However, the girl stated that she thought everything looked nice and decent. She didn't understand where the mess was. Suddenly, they heard sounds from the closet and the girl didn't realize what it was. She clarified if he minded if she looked in there. Yonaga stated that he could not allow her to do that. Inumi assumed there was something in there that he didn't want her to see. The guy didn't understand whether or not she wanted her not to see it. It was more like an invasion of privacy or like there was a thief hiding there. Inumi remembered that he was a guy, so she decided she would just forget about looking in the closet. Yonaga rejoiced, and now he just had to pray that the thief didn't break out of there. He begged her to be quiet and stay there. Nekomara didn't want to listen to him. She didn't understand why on earth he would sit there. Did he have some kind of fetish? And she declared that he was leaving her no other choice. She would break down the whole door if she had to. Well, the guy asked her not to. Nekomara burst out of the closet and declared that she couldn't help herself. She's showing this first-class genius thief, and getting out of here was no problem for her. That's when she saw Inumi and was shocked as to why she was here. Inumi was also shocked to see the thief here. Yonaga thinks it's over. Inumi assumes the thief has run off to meet her. This is getting downright bad. Time for an extended pronunciation strategy. The thief may never return again, however. She stated that she will be back again tomorrow to steal something. Inumi stated that since she never learns anything, it was in that case she would be there too. Yonaga was glad she was still coming around. Nekomara declared that she had brought something interesting with her today. Inumi noted her arrival, and the thief didn't understand why she was here. Inumi said she was coming today, and it was all because of yesterday. All she needed was Yonagi's permission. Nekomara declared that the guy had betrayed her, and judging by the way she howled at his door, he really didn't have much choice. The thief stated for Inumi to wait, and she decided to leave it to the cards to decide what would happen to her. Inumi didn't understand if they weren't going to play the second maid. Something like that. The thief stated that it was a good guess, but it wasn't just a plain old thing. Whoever had the maid in their deck would win. The cards had different things written on them. When a person makes a pair, they spell out whatever is written on the card. Then, if the maid ends up staying with the person, they can steal whatever is saved. The only person who wants to steal anything is the thief herself. The thief asked not to worry because there are a couple of cards with her signature on them. It's an elaborate signature. Yonaga noted that she resembled more closely than he could have imagined, but the girl claimed she had seen the video. Irene summarized that she was just copying someone. The thief stated that you're not just a copy, at least she stole the idea. But this is even worse. Yonaga thought about the fact that Inumi wouldn't play along with him. However, the girl did spread out, but she didn't want her signature. She just wanted a chance to catch her. Yonaga decided that if he could get her cards, he could steal her. The thief stated that he couldn't wait to snap out of his seat overnight, and she stated, "Let the game continue." The guys started playing. The guy has 7 cards in his hand, and 5 pairs so far. Nothing but appetizers had been written on the cards. He figured maybe nothing too crazy was written anywhere. That was reassuring. Suddenly, he came across a card with some secret inscription, a bank book. He didn't realize what the thing was or what it was to steal it. Knowing the girl, one would assume it said something even crazier. He really couldn't lose. He wondered where the maid's card was hiding. Inumi noticed that the thief was keeping 1 card separate. Da immediately started to deny she meant it wasn't the maid, so she decided it would be best to keep it a secret. However, now that she said something like that, Yonaga was sure the girl wouldn't be so stupid, though the more he thought about it, the less sure he was. He realized the girl was too involved. Well, after she pulled out the card, he realized she had a face that said that wasn't the case. Inumi pulled out another pair. Well, the guy wouldn't say it mattered. The guy was shocked at what kind of thing this was to try to steal, and he asked the thief not to smirk. He didn't realize what to do. He can't let Inumi win either. He needs to summon a maid. Inumi stated that she would not allow herself to be fooled again, and she did. She called the maid. However, the guy suddenly snatched the card out of her hand. The girls didn't realize what it just was, what he did, and that the guy stated that he didn't want to lose. He acts like a professional gamer. The thief thinks this is the chance, and she holds a brew that it's a maid. Nekomata was shocked at the sight of him, and noted that his blood pressure was just off the charts. She apologized and decided to take another card, Inumi noted as she backed away. The game ended, and the guy declared that he won. He also apologized to Inumi. However, the girl thinks that now they won't have to worry about the thief anymore. Nekomara didn't realize if Yonaga really wanted to take her down that badly. That's when he remembered that he had a couple with her signatures, he stated, letting it slip past his ears. Hakaishi asked his friend if he could believe it. Inumi had taken his manga again, and he friend didn't realize when he would finally learn. Nekomata approached Inumi and stated that she wanted to talk to her about something. Inumi tried to clarify what was wrong. At the girl asked to go to the library with her, the guys were shocked that these two girls went somewhere together, at least at school. The guy didn't realize that there seemed to be something important and interesting to discuss. However, what could it be they would find? He saw her thieving outfit and wondered what she was going to do with it. There was no outcome in which she wouldn't be caught. Inumi clarified, no desire to use that formula here. Hakaishi went through as well and noted that there didn't seem to be anything wrong. Yonaga decided not to worry about anything, but to wait, he supposed, wondering if Nekomata was trying and hoping to find Inumi's weaknesses. Yonaga stated to his friend that he would continue to watch them, and the friend could go home. Hakeshi thought this was the start of a detective show, and I guess he'll stick around, it seems fun. Also, this might be his chance to get back at that cranky Inumi if he can find her weak spot. Yonaga noted that he and Nekomata were thinking alike. The boys wondered what they were even sitting there discussing. Inumi is surprised that she asked me for help with her studies. It doesn't seem like it's necessary. Nekomata replied that she needed quite a bit. Inumi asked what rank she got on the last test. She replied that it was on the lower side, below the side of average. Inumi noted that there are a lot of lowercase c's. She clarified that how about her helping her with the materials that will be on the midterm. Nekomata agreed. They're just having a normal study session, at first glance perhaps. Nekomata decided to check with Inumi to see if there was anything she particularly disliked. She dropped the personal and went straight for the kill. Hakashi is dying to hear it. Yonaga asked him not to be so flippant. Inumi didn't understand why she was asking that. Nekomata stated that there was no ulterior motive in what she was asking. She just wanted to get to know her better. Inumi can't deal with people who don't follow the rules. She cited Hakashi as an example. No matter how much she warns him, he still brings games and manga to school, no matter that he just doesn't listen to her, whether he even has ears. Inumi is completely ruthless. Hakashi stated that he couldn't stand people who took his things. Yonaga thinks it's 100% his fault. Inumi is wondering about Nekomata. The girl replied that she is not good with raps. She says it hurts. Has she ever been caught before? You can't move if she gets caught, and there's no way to get out of it. And it happens at about 500 kilometers per hour, so she bets it hurts. Inumi noted that she seemed all too familiar with it. Inumi stated that she had misunderstood something again. She had misspelled a word. Inumi didn't realize if she was properly reviewing this at home. Nekomara stated that she always has something to do after she gets home. Inumi asked if she was taking lessons or something. Nekomara said that she wasn't, but that she went to Yonaga's house every night and stole stuff from him. Hakashi checked with his friend to see if he was okay. The latter replied that he was just fine. Yonata realized that Nekomata really couldn't talk like that. He asked her to come to her senses and coughed very loudly. Hakashi checked with his friend, wondering if something was stuck in his throat. Inumi didn't realize what this grand throat clearing was going on there. Nekomata finally realized. Yonata thought about the fact that this was really bad. Inumi apologized and clarified what it was she meant to say. Nekomata noted that there was always something at home. Inumi wanted details, but Nekomata noted that they were already closing. It seemed that way, and how inconvenient that was. Nekomata was saddened that she hadn't been able to get any information about her. Inumi clarified if the girl wanted her to study with her tomorrow as well. He won't abandon someone in need. That's what it means, Prefect. Nekomata stated, just now it was great, a sort of personal greeting. She asked her to listen again. Inumi pointed out that if she insisted, she wouldn't abandon someone in need. That's when Nekomata saw Yonaga and Hakashi and they said hello. Inumi was amazed. Did they really listen to them all the time? They urged them to shut up. Let him say something. Falling off the ledge is the worst. Nekomata looked into Inumi's personal life. Today's catch is Inumi's data. The guys have their midterm next week. It's test time for the boys. Nekomara fell into despair. Yonaga didn't realize how terrible the hardship was. His friend didn't realize if given the chance he could review her records, and Yonaga agreed. It will save his life, nothing. The notes are so simple, it's understanding that this test won't take long. Nekomara didn't understand why there wasn't a study session. Inumi didn't understand why. Was she seriously refusing to study, and her luck would soon leave her? Tanaka said he was sorry. I wanted to help her with her studies, something that she would let her stay here today. Nekomara stated that she didn't come here today. Inumi pointed out that I didn't have to do that if she didn't want to. Well, in that case, she'd catch her with the American thing. She's here to steal them, but whether she should even get involved with the school, she doesn't understand. In other words, it's pointless, and she's decided to end the discussion. Yoraga alerted Inumi to the find, and the girl replied that she just had to use the form for that, and she sent the thief just to not study because, in fact, she said that if she held a midterm for a while, she would be banned from stealing. Inumi chastises her for helping her with some classic literature. The guys start discussing the chapter in the book and how they can replace one T with another. Nekomara asked them not to start talking false nonsense, at least speak Japanese. Yonaga stated that it's generally this whole Japanese thing. He feels like he's already figured it out, so he doesn't really understand why they invited him. Inumi doesn't think you're quite right. Her grades might have gotten higher over the year. Nekomara clarified if that was just a humble brag. Yonaga has really good grades in language, which is why Inumi needs his help. The guy agreed if anything could be done. Nekumara asked Inumi to be careful. I'm going to be nice to the guy now and then he'll take all the money out of her. Yonaga stated that he would not do that. Nekumara asked to teach her too. The boy agreed, for after all that was why they were here. Nekumara sat down beside him, not understanding why he had come here. As he had said, nothing was visible, Basasuen and Inumi thought, and some childish request. Anyway, could he check out this English spelling for her? Yonaga thought about the fact that he was only teaching, and if only he could focus on the problem at hand. Suddenly, he kicked himself. The girls were concerned. The boy stated that he didn't even know anything else. Nekumara clarified so it was something he didn't know. She's not wrong, but she doesn't know the half of it. Nekumara asked Inumi to take a look at it. She asked her to just wait a second. Nekumara is going to be a great thief, so naturally her English is going to be on point. Inumi stated that literally everything is wrong and every last problem. Who needs English anyway? She's from Japan. Nekumara changes his tone quickly. Some of these moments are just amazing. It actually gives Inumi a headache. Nekumara stated that it's fine and she won't be using English in the future anyway. Inumi pointed out that it wasn't like she wasn't at home. If she was ever overseas, she'd happen to steal something. Nekumara stated that she was a noble thief, specifically targeting Yonaga. She was only interested in him. The guy realizes that's not what she means, but he can't help but hear it that way. Inumi pointed out that it was still no reason for her not to study. She needs some basic English vocabulary. Inumi was shocked by the mistake and stated that it was okay if she was Nekumata. Yonaga and Nekumara were shocked by what they heard. Inumi decided to ask if she was really Nekumata. The guys realized it wasn't good. She heard their sounds, she's just trying to react to something she absolutely shouldn't have reacted to. Yonaga asked her to hold on to him. Surely even she must have something prepared for such a situation. Nemukata clarified, is this really the Nemukata she's talking about? She's never heard of them. Inumi noted the thief tense up. Yonaga realized that he was the only one left to act now. He turned to Inumi and stated that he didn't think Miss Thief and Nemukata had anything to do with each other. Inumi noticed the thief's reaction when she said about Nemukata. Yonaga stated that it was because the thief was a very distant relative of Nemukata, or he had heard, or it wasn't true. Inumi didn't understand where he'd even heard that, and the guy replied that from herself. However, the thief stated that she had never said that. Yonaga didn't understand why she couldn't just play along. Now that Inumi thinks about it, she feels like she knew everything about everything at her school. Nekumata noted that she really had a lopsided mind in school, then realized what she had said, so she had already outdone herself when she wasn't there yet. Inumi noticed that now that she looked so good, she really reminded her of Nemukata. She's really building her case. Inumi wondered if she could let her hair down. Nemukata stated it would be a little bit on that, it takes her 3 hours. But for Inumi, the hairstyle looks pretty simple. Nemukata stated that it takes a lot of time to make it turn out really cool. Inumi clarified, wondering if she could just calm down and give up already. Yonaga thought about what he could do here, what he could say to stop them. He can't let Nemukata know that he knows it's her. He's sure she'd be upset if she knew the truth, and he mentally cheered himself up. Yonaga stated to Inumi that he knows that Miss Thief doesn't like Nemukata. Miss Thief's goal is to steal Yonaga's things. He didn't do anything so Nemukata wouldn't look in his direction. In fact, they only exchanged a few words with each other. Inumi noted that he was very kind. The thief confirmed that they hardly spoke at all. Her affirmation just makes him want to crawl into a ditch. Inumi asked her not to act like Nemukata. She can't imagine Nemukata in such a perverted outfit with her navel exposed. The thief clarified if Inumi had ever looked at herself from the outside. In addition, she had a special designer make these clothes. In other words, they're made to order. Yonaga wanted to add more on the topic of when it comes to Nemukata and Miss Thief, but he immediately apologized and for them to keep their heads down. Whatever it is, it may prove that there is no connection here. Yonaga stated that there is a difference in how big they look. Nekumata apologized for whatever he might have meant. Inumi noted that now that he mentioned it, she thought the thief's melons were bigger than Nemukata's. The girl claimed it was because of her outfit and outerwear. Yonaga decided to pass out for a while. She seems a little out of it, but she can actually be depended on, and she was kind enough to give him candy. She wishes he would start with the story. Inumi sees this is definitely not the right girl, but she'd barely interacted with Nemukata, and Yonaga seemed to really know a lot about the girl, and she wondered why that was so. Yonaga admits that it's because he's watching her. Inumi then thinks the thief isn't Nemukata. Yonaga clarified if she believed him, and Inumi confirmed. If Yonaga, who pays so much, says so, then it must be so. Inumi stated that she was tired so she would go home, and she would let the thief off the hook again so she could go home. The girl said goodbye to the boy until tomorrow. Yonaga realized that they had somehow gotten through it, so she hadn't guessed. Inumi stated that everything was fine and she'd better head straight home. And while she's at it, she'd better leave Yonaga alone. Then she asked the thief if she was okay because she was all red. The thief claimed it was nothing special. Today's catch was nothing. Yonaga wondered what would happen to them since they had passed their midterm exams. Nemukata wasn't going to come. Suddenly, she fails and is accused of stealing. She doesn't even read his messages. Suddenly, someone rings his doorbell and the guy rushes to open it. However, Inumi happened to be there. He asked her not to scare him like that. The girl asked him to mask her displeasure. She was here for an unusual reason, and could she come in? The guy invited her inside, and Inumi checked to see if the thief was here. Inumi is curious how her tests went, but since she was the one who trained her, she doesn't care at all. Yonaga stated that she wasn't here. Inumi didn't understand why she wasn't here. Wasn't this the time she usually came in? Let him just not tell her that she really failed and had to stop stealing. Inumi was shocked, which is why she kept reminding her to do the review. Yonaga urged Inumi to calm down. He's surprised she's so worried about this. The girl stated that it was more like it wasn't anxiety, but that she just wanted to see it through. Also, if she ran away, she'd have to wear that outfit on patrol forever. Yonaga noted that her real feelings were coming out. He didn't understand why she wouldn't just stop patrolling. Inumi declared, making the thought disappear forever. Knowing the committee chairman, patrols will continue until they get her here. She might even get her to wear something worse. Pretty cocky man in a chair, Inumi wondered if he had any way of contacting her. Yonaga thinks she's really on his radar. Inumi just isn't going to ask why he has a thieving streak. The guys decide to let it go, but what can they do? Inumi decided to keep pelting her with stamps until she responded. Yonaga noted that it was just annoying. Here, the girl decided that she would, in that case, take turns saying, "Hello," and "Are you here?" until she answered. Yonaga clarified if Inumi's head was okay. He means there's still a chance she's not banned from stealing. Inumi didn't understand why she wasn't here then. The guy assumed she was lost or something. Really, even though she'd been here thousands of times? Well, even though it wouldn't normally make sense, she wouldn't put it off. They are talking about Ms. Thief after all. In that case, Inumi offers to post her picture on social media. Yonaga didn't realize if she was a dog. Inumi clarified, wasn't that a good idea? She thought it would be an effective way to get useful information, and the guy thinks it's an effective way to find some perverts. Inumi didn't realize what they should do then. They can't contact her, and it's impossible to even try to look for her, so she gives up. Yonaga noted that the girl broke down, and he stated that she might just have to be alert right now. Thieves usually attack empty places because the lights are on. She might just be biding her time. Inumi suggested that in that case, she turn off the lights and sit in ambush. The room was darker than ever. Yonaga decided that he would then turn on the light on his phone and really scared Inumi. The girl asked not to be intimidated like that. She almost tied his hands. He noted that it was the biggest suggestion. Yonaga noted that despite what he said, she still didn't come. Even after waiting for hours, there was no sign of her. Inumi stated that she would be on this patrol outfit forever. On the other side of the darkness, Yonaga hears a cursed voice. Yonaga thought about the fact that maybe Nemukata was really suffering from thievery. Nemukata stated, which meant he was here. Yonaga was shocked by her outfit. It was the first time she had passed all her tests. Her parents had thrown her a grand party. He was shocked that they were really out of their depth. They clarified that it turns out she hadn't failed anything anyway, and the thief confirmed it. That's how much potential she has, and she asked to see her true power. But all the work is on the verge of falling apart. Well, anyway, it's a big relief. Nemukata stated that it would be fair to say that she stole their book wisdom. Suddenly, Inumi declared that they should capture her right now. Nemukata didn't understand why Inumi had a face like Yonaga's. Inumi told her to shut up and return her concern, but so claimed she never stole it. Yonaga noted that all of this was suddenly pissing her off.